Okay, next up, Miss Meg Kern, or Karen.
Meg had to leave, but she asked me to hand in her remarks. Do I give those? There's several comments.
Read them so we can hear them.
Could we hear the
Can we
remarks,
hear the
please?
remarks?
It's a letter from the Audubon Society. It'll be available on our website. Or,
Can we hear them now, please?
no, it's too long. It's a 2-page letter.
That's less than 5 minutes. I think it's good. Somebody can read the page for you.
Well, why don't we read the letter?
Thank you.
This is a letter from the Audubon Society of Rhode Island, addressed to Grover Fugate, dated November 7, 2017. Audubon Society of Rhode Island objects to National Grid's construction of a natural gas liquefaction facility at 121 Terminal Road in Providence. This project is not consistent with enforceable policies of Rhode Island's federally approved coastal program, particularly Section 145, Climate Change and Sea Level Rise. CRMC Section 145, Climate Change and Sea Level Rise, provides a framework under which the CRMC reviews projects and how they are impacted by future climate change. The policies state, quote, "The Council will review its policies, plans, regulations to proactively plan for and adapt to climate change and sea level rise. The Council will integrate climate change and sea level rise scenarios into its program to prepare Rhode Island for these new evolving conditions and make our coastal areas more resilient." According to the CRMC staff report in June 2017, National Grid stated that they plan to raise the facility to 21 feet NAVAD 88, which is a reference to Grover elevation, which is above the projected NOAA maximum SLR for 2010. CRMC Section 145 recognizes that there is a lot of uncertainty with SLR projections and notes that coastal infrastructure will become increasingly susceptible to SLR impacts and flooding. CRMC staff raised concerns about access to the facility during a storm event. The applicant has responded that they will implement safety systems to ensure that the facility is properly shut down. But what will happen when regular tidal cycles flood the area surrounding the elevated liquefaction facility? It is not reasonable to expect that the plant will shut down on a regular basis because access through flooded roads is difficult or impossible. The new facility will be surrounded by existing industrial infrastructure that is also at grave risk to SLR and flooding. The CRMC staff report also notes that National Grid has not provided sufficient detail on their anticipated 25-year design life for the facility, nor have they provided information on decommissioning and removal of the facility. National Grid is requesting a variance to the CRMC minimum 50-foot setback requirements for proposed filling and grading on the project site. CRMC established the setbacks to protect water quality. Buffers are a critical component of water quality protection measures and are even more critical when the project is evaluated in light of future impacts from climate change. The proposed facility is currently in the 100-year flood zone as shown by the Rhode Island floodplain mapping tool. It is susceptible to damage from extreme storms and sea level rise. During storm events, spillage from LNG facility may be washed into the Providence River. With rising seas, the chances of flooding of the site increase substantially. The LNG falls under CRMC Regulation Section 300.8, Energy-Related Activities and Structures, which is defined to apply to energy-related activities include all operations and structures involved in power generation and petroleum processing, transfer and storage on a shoreline feature or its contiguous area or within tidal waters. These regulations state, quote, applicants must demonstrate that all relevant local zoning ordinances, building codes, flood hazard standards, and all state safety codes, fire codes, and environmental requirements have or will be met. National Grid must demonstrate how this facility will meet current and future flood hazard standards and be compatible with local ordinances. The Mayor of Providence has issued a statement in opposition to the plant, in part due to concerns about the current and future risks posed by the plant. Quote, the proposed plant would process liquid natural gas that is extracted through hydraulic fracking, which is devastating to the environment and the surrounding communities. continuing the quotation. Providence does not want to perpetuate or expand fracking, nor do we want to be burdened by the risk associated with a liquefaction plant in Providence. That's attributed to the Providence Journal, August 25th, 2016. The opposition of the mayor is in contradiction to the CRMC's Providence Harbor SAMP, Special Area Management Plan, Harbor Policy 2, enlisting the involvement of municipalities in harbor revitalization. CRMC is committed to actively working with municipalities on harbor renewal plans. Close quotes. The 2006 and 2011 amendments to the Providence Harbor SAMP, the Urban Coastal Greenways policies, identifies this area as part of the development zone. In this zone, the policy is to establish a contiguous urban coastal greenway. Developers have options for a standard 25-foot buffer, standard buffer 25 feet, standard UCG urban coastal greenway buffer width of 100 feet, a compact buffer 50 feet, or a small lot exemption. This development does not fit the definition of a small lot, so should be required to meet the CRMC requirements for one of these buffer areas. I recognize that this site is not within CRMC's Ocean SAMP planning area. However, the Ocean SAMP established a policy framework that the Audubon Society requests be applied to this project. To wit, and it's quoting, 1150.2, Global Climate Changes. Number 4, it states, quote, the council will prohibit those land-based and offshore development projects which, based on sea level rise scenarios analysis, will threaten public safety or not perform as designed, resulting in significant environmental impacts. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers has developed and is implementing design and construction standards that consider impacts from sea level rise. The standards and other scenario analysis should be applied to determine sea level rise impacts, close quotes. Sincerely, Meg Keir, Senior Policy Director.